We are going to be doing some twist outs today. We're going to work on two different styles of twist outs. These are great for your curly clients, whether they are an extremely tight texture or a very loose texture. But I also do these sets on my clients with straight hair to give them a little bit of texture. It is a heat-free set, or you can always put them under a hooded dryer. But most of the time when my clients are wearing these, they are wearing them home and then pulling them out themselves. Let me go ahead and show you. So this is what our sets will look like when we finish setting them. Now, once we kind of go through on our mannequin today, we will pull these apart together so that you can see the difference between the two different styles. So these are our two-strand twists. And I'll bring these all the way down the head and I'll position them like cornrows. So if I was doing a full head of these, I would, just like these four you see here in the center, continue those along the sides of the head. However, since we're going to be learning two different setting methods, these are our freestanding two-strand twists. And I promise you guys, once we're done here, you're going to be blown away by just how easy these are. The hardest part is what I am affectionately terming the inception twist, which we'll talk about. But it's not even that hard. So for our products today, you are going to get to see our Curl Flex, which is from our new Healing Curls line. It'll be available starting in June, I believe. But we have some here today with us at the salon, and we're going to be setting with the Curl Flex and trauma treatment. Now, once our curl line is available, I cannot wait to substitute trauma treatment for one of two options for our Healing Curls line. We have two different leave-in conditioners. One is a very lightweight, strength and moisture focused conditioner, and then the other one is a more deep kind of leave-in treatment with really targeted moisture. So depending on the curl type, texture of the hair, how much hold and how much moisture the hair needs, I would just alternate between the two. But today we're using my beloved trauma treatment. So I'm going through here. Typically for a client, they would already be fully saturated when we started this because we would be coming from the shampoo bowl. However, full saturation is key to really anything that you're doing with setting. So whether you're doing these twist out methods or you're doing like a simple brush and wet set, um, full saturation, like absolutely as much water as you can possibly get in there, as well as lots of leave-in moisture. That's one of the things I love about our new curl line is every single product is so focused on not just moisturizing the hair, but also repairing all of our moisture retention matrices inside of the hair so that not only are we adding moisture, but we are allowing the hair, putting back in the hair what it needs to retain that moisture. So it's not just a band-aid problem. We're really focusing on healing curls. The whole line is fully customizable, which is I don't know if you can tell, I'm so excited about the new curl line. So we're going to start by basing her with a cocktail. I'm going to do about 1 part trauma treatment to 1 part curl flex. Let you guys take a look at that here. So here's my trauma treatment. Oh, and here it is, guys. Look, it's the curl flex. Oh, I kicked my phone stand. There we go. It's the new curl flex. I don't know how well you can see that there. And it is a strong hold. However, it is a soft finish with no flaking at all. And completely restylable. Let's see here. I'm going to struggle with this, guys. I'm going to struggle with this. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to do about equal parts in here of the curl flex. And then I'm going to get this up close so you could really see the texture of this product. It is fantastic. It cocktails so easily with so many other products. I have yet to find a cocktail where it doesn't really just distribute and cocktail easily. And trust me, I've been trying. I've been using it with everything. It's what's in my hair today. So we get this, like I said, it's that really strong hold. So we get a lot of control with targeted moisture, but like so much movement, zero flaking. And again, fully customizable. So I'm going to distribute that all the way through my hand. And when we're working with curls, we want to make sure that we are getting the hair fully saturated. When in doubt, just use more product, right? We don't have to worry about buildup. We don't have to worry about flaking. Now, I like to go through, let me move her here, kind of tilt her down so you can see. I like to go through and subsection when I'm applying product. So that I make sure I have full saturation. I don't want to leave any sections out where it is dry or I don't have even saturation of product. And then this is a mannequin, right? So she doesn't really have baby hairs around the hairline. However, I always make sure that I take what's left of my product, kind of distribute through my palms and smooth around that hairline because I want to make sure that whatever I'm setting in, I include whatever hairs around that hairline that can be included. So now that we've got this product distributed, we're going to go ahead and distribute once again to make sure with our brush. And I have another fun one for you guys because I have our new Lanza curl brush. So this is the Lanza curl brush, and it is awesome because once again, there's a huge focus on the customization of this brush. So we've got these individual, I guess we'll call them combs, individual or fingers, right? So we've got these individual fingers of this brush, and you can see here on the back, we have this little bar. Now, as I slide this bar down, it opens up these fingers more. And as I slide it up, it closes them. Or, which is what we're going to do today, I can pull this bar off and I can hold the brush together like a 10 pin. So we're going to do it this way today. I'm going to hold these fingers together to make sure that I get as much tension as possible to distribute this product. And I'm going to start at the ends because that is how we detangle our textured guests, no matter what their texture is, by starting at the ends to reduce damage and breakage. It's another great thing about this brush. These long plastic bristles, they are even from start to end, and the plastic backing. So this way, as long as we have good water saturation and good saturation of product, we get as much slip as possible. It glides through that hair and then distributes product while it goes, and we don't have to worry about damaging. Can you guys see that completely? If you need me to move this mannequin up, let me know and I will move her up. But yeah, this brush is fantastic. So if I was looking, so right now I've got these teeth closed because I'm looking for tension and to distribute product, right? So if I was doing a wet set, I would keep this brush closed and go through to encourage as much coil definition as possible, right? Now, if I was looking to expand and create more volume, I would use my little bar that we removed from the back. I would open these teeth up and comb through, which is going to create separation in body. I am so excited about this brush. All right, let's go ahead and get her sectioned. So we're going to start with our 2-strand twist connected to the scalp. So our attached twist outs, right? And we're going to be using 2 strands. Guys, I promise this is even easier than braiding. It's even easier than braiding. And the results are fantastic. So we'll first, let's see, clip her out of the way here. There we go. And then I'm going to take an even parting all the way down. And actually, I'm going to do this a little exaggerated. I'm going to make these partings a little bit bigger. Now, you can absolutely customize your sections here. So just like with a curling iron or a Marcel iron or a wand, the bigger the sections, the bigger the wave. Okay, so we're going to be creating a large wave. Now, for a tighter texture or for more coil definition, I would bring these sections smaller so that you guys can see clearly what we're doing here. Let's go with some bigger partings. If you are familiar with any of the curly products, actually, if you are not, we did just drop a YouTube video on the Lanza YouTube page for a little bit of product knowledge on the curly line. And actually, I think it was last week, Lanza also posted from this main Facebook page some slides with some more detailed information about each of the products. But if you've got a second, or you happen to have looked at those slides and you've got some curly product information, let us know in the comments which product you're most excited about. Because I'm really interested. I'll go back through after we're done here and take a look. So I've got this section detangled. I've got this section fully saturated. Now, when we go through and do these twists, we're going to be working with two sections at a time, okay? So I've got this section up here. Now I'm going to show you. We will split that section in half, okay? So we have two strands. Now, when we are twisting, we're going to be doing inception twisting, right? I made this up, but I'm proud of it. So inception twisting means that as we twist these strands together, we are also going to be twisting them individually. Okay, so that individual twist is what will keep these sections separate so we don't just form one long twist all the way down. You guys know what I'm talking about? So again, split that section. I like to start my twist because it's really easy to get lost. When I start trying to twist this way, move this for you. I start trying to twist before I start. I start my minor twist before I start my major twist. I get a little lost in like which direction I'm supposed to be twisting these. So I will twist and then twist again, right? And lay that piece over. Now I'm going to pick up this section underneath. So again, I'm only working with two sections at a time. That's it. And then twist and twist it over. That's it. Okay. So as we work down here, make sure you guys can see. There we go. That's a little better. As we work down here, I'm going to be picking up that second section, twisting, wrapping it over, and then picking up that second section all the way down through the ends. Okay. Now, as I'm going through here, the spacing that you use to pick up your sections does matter in the end. Now, I also want to show you really quick. So as I'm like fooling with this section here, this section was starting to untwist. And that's okay because as I pick up the next section, get control again, I'm just going to retwist it. All right, flip it over and then pick up that section. If I were to use bigger spacings in these sections that I'm picking up, it's going to create a bigger coil. All right. Got that section laid over, give her a twist, and continue on. I'm going to adjust this so you guys can see the back here. There we go. So if I wanted to start making these curl sections or these coils when we're finished bigger, I could. So here I'm going to double that spacing. So you guys can see there. All along the hair, you can see these little breaks. And that is where we've picked up sections. Now we have this bigger section here, and that's going to create a bigger coil in our finished look. And we're going to go ahead and continue twisting all the way down. And I'm going to show you there are two ways to finish this while it sets to dry. We can, because her hair is more textured, I can actually twist it all the way through the ends and then let it hold itself together to dry. On our mannequin, I'll show you again, but you can see when I've twisted all the way through, I just lay the section down and let it hold itself together with our twists, um, without going in and like clipping. Now you can absolutely clip, right? And you can see as I finish here, we're twisting as we're twisting, right? So this is our inception twisting we were talking about. So we're going to twist and big twist, individual twists and big twists, right? And we're just going to continue doing that all the way down through the ends. And then we can choose to let it set by itself. You will get some expansion as it dries, and that is okay. So you can see through here, these sections are all very tight together. But because I didn't really anchor these to anything, I just twisted all the way through and left it to dry. We have a little bit of expansion in each of our sections. So you can see those sections expanding a little bit while they're drying, and that's okay. On a couple of these, they've actually, you can see kind of untwisted just a little bit. And that's all right because it forms these coils that are still going to be uniform with the sectioning from our twist. So we'll still get a uniform finish when it's done. However, if your curly texture is not tight enough to kind of hold it itself, or you just want to maintain more control and more tension during the drying process, we can always finish with a perm rod. There are two ways. So we can, let me move this out so you can see here. We can wrap starting with one end here and then finish wrapping all the way up and secure, right? Or if you're looking for even more control, we can use perm papers. And they're not going to inhibit the drying process at all. And I will use these exactly how I would use the perm papers if I was wrapping a set for a perm. So we'll apply those perm papers and wrap all the way up. Now I like to start at the end and then wrap so that the hair is not laying over itself, just because it dries a little faster that way. If we start wrapping, especially if they have longer hair, we start wrapping the hair on top of each other, it's okay. It's just going to take forever to dry. Like your receptionist is staying late, you're tired, you missed dinner, they missed dinner, a long, long time. I've done it. I've made that mistake. So if we are using perm rods, just make sure that we start on one end and then wrap the hair only one loop around each section so that we don't have any hair laying over other hair. All right. There we go. So that is our attached two-strand twist. Let's do some of the freestanding twists. So those are these guys here. Now, for this mannequin, and honestly, for a large portion of the clients that I do this technique on, I am a huge fan of triangular partings because it helps to camouflage. Yeah, it helps to camouflage all of our sectioning because when we are wet setting like this, just like with roller sets, just like with perms, there's always going to be where this hair has been pulled to one section while it's drying. So when you go to take it out, these triangle partings help to diffuse those lines so that we don't end up with these weird spacings where curls are laying, all one way back here and then all forward over there, and helps to really kind of soften that finish. And then these two-strand freestanding twists are even easier than the two-strand twists that are attached. So we'll turn her, and then we're going to be resaturating. But we're going to get this out of the way here so that you guys can really see that parting. and really see our inception twisting. So we've already got our first little triangle section here made for us, except for the top, from right there at her sideburns. It already kind of naturally forms that little point. And then this helps keep some of those partings off of the hairline, right where our focal points are. So I'm going to clip this out of the way. And then we're going to resaturate. And again, we've already saturated through this section, so I don't need to apply more product. That Curl Flex with the trauma treatment is enough to really still maintain its hold even with a resaturation. However, that is still the product cocktail that is my personal favorite for this technique. So I'm going to comb through this section. Make sure you guys can see this really well. And I'm going to divide into two sections. I like to divide my sections. There are a lot of ways to do this and a ton of techniques. These are just some ways that I've found that work great for me and my clients. But personally, I like to divide my sections to where they end at that point of the triangle. That way, the area where I'm going to get any separation is already minimized as much as possible. So once again, we've got our two even sections, and we can start twisting immediately. However, I get a little bit lost. So I'll cross over my section, and then I just tell myself to twist in the opposite direction of my cross, right? I want to make two individual strands that I am twisting together. So I'm going to twist and then twist, twist, and twist, right? I'm going to keep saying it over and over again because I'm proud of it. Our inception twisting. Twist and twist, twist and twist all the way through. And you don't have to twist each of them at the same time. If you get a little bit lost, it's as simple and straightforward as it is, it's really easy to get a little bit lost, at least for me. So once you get a good twist in there at the base, if you want to hold this one stationary and only focus on twisting this one, you can, because by the time you switch and grab the next one, you've still got some twist left over. So we can just twist again, and it's going to keep that tension all the way through, even if we're only twisting one at a time, so long as we have that good solid foundation in first. So I'm going to finish out this twist. Once you get comfortable, twisting them at the same time is super, super easy. And then you can move through these sections with a lot, I mean, pretty quickly. I can usually get a full head on even my most textured clients, like with really thick hair, 30 minutes, top 20 to 30 minutes, I can usually get in a full head of two-strand twists. So once you get comfortable with the movements, it's really just the two movements. And once you get comfortable with those, it's so easy to just kind of speed through this set. And then, like I said, you can set them under the dryer so that you can pull apart these twists yourself, or a lot of times they'll just prefer to wear it home and then separate themselves. Now, for the separation, I lost her. So we're going to start with these twists here in the back. These are our twists that are attached on the scalp. Fun fact, this is the exact same technique that you use for rope braiding. Typically, it's just a much bigger section, a lot of times in like a halo placement. Same thing. Now, when I go to pull apart our twists, I like to make sure that I have something with a little bit of slip, preferably some shine, that I coat my fingertips with. That way, I minimize sections like sticking to my fingers, pulling the part unnecessarily, or unintentional expansion, which leads to frizz. So today I'm using neem plant serum. I also really love the keratin healing oil for this. So we're going to distribute, and I like to literally kind of wash my hands with it. That way I've got it on all parts of my fingers. And then we're just going to start at the bottom of the section. I like to untwist the whole section first. This just helps me avoid tangling in the ends as we pull it apart. And you're going to see as we untwist here, you can see our sections that we picked it up in dropping out. You guys see that? So you kind of pull this apart, maybe against that wall there. So here's a section we picked up, and we're going to drop it out. Here's our other section, drop it out. And then we continue this all the way up, and I kind of run those sections through my fingers to make sure that I've coated them with, like I said, that neem plant serum or that keratin healing oil. And I just kind of like retwist through those ends to help minimize frizz and then encourage definition. All the way through. Can you guys see those sections a little bit better up through here? So this is each section that we pulled up, right? So that's where we were talking about the size of the section kind of determines that coil. So each of these are going to be uniform if I have even sectioning. And then if I would have chosen a bigger sectioning pattern, we would have an even bigger coil. When I do these, just kind of a personal preference, I like to try and match the natural coil size of my client. So for example, untwist these here, run through those ends. So this is this mannequin's natural coil. She's just wet set with that Lanza curl brush. And then for my sections, I will kind of, I mean, I don't literally measure, but eyeball measure. Like here's a full coil, right? So when I go through, I kind of try to mimic that coil size with my sectioning. And again, that's just a personal preference. It kind of gives it a more natural finish and helps to kind of celebrate their individual texture. So here we have this pulled apart. These are just the strands that we pulled apart. We're going to go through and expand those a little bit more. The more you expand, the shorter that wear time is going to be. So like I said, that's one of the reasons a lot of my clients will wear the twists home and then start to expand by themselves. We're going to go ahead and pull apart these sections here for our freestanding twist so that you guys can get a good idea. I've recoated with that neem plant serum. The neem plant serum I really love for finishing to kind of, after I've done any kind of wet setting, even if it's with a diffuser for curls, I will kind of open, soften, and expand the finish style with neem or with the keratin healing oil. So we'll start again at those ends, and then I like to untwist the whole section and make sure that I run that product through the ends. So I'm untwisting, oops, sorry, the entire section, running that product through the ends, coating that section with product, untwist, and untwist. Now, here's what we have, and we can absolutely wear these just as is, and then our clients can go in and continue to expand at home, or we can go through and continue to separate and expand. So here's one of our sections, and I'm going to untwist it and then come to the top of the section to separate. So untwist, come to the top of the section to separate, making sure that I keep product on my fingers and apply all the way through. So untwist that individual section because it's going to help minimize tangling at the ends, and then start to separate, twist all the way through, and place. Expand and separate, and then saturate. two more sections, and then we're going to compare the two different twists so that you guys can get a good idea of what your preference is. Right, place and set. Another product that I will use to finish is that new Keratin Healing Oil Shine Spray. Gosh, it smells so good. Um, it's so shiny without being like heavy or oily. And then I have a lot of clients who love to use it. They'll take it home, and after we do these sets, they will use it to kind of refresh, like especially at the scalp. So it'll help kind of minimize frizz and then bring moisture to the scalp for some of my clients that have drier scalps. All right, so we've got our both of our sections undone here. All right, so here's her kind of natural texture, just wet set. And then here are our twists. So on the top, in this top section, is where we have our two strand twists attached to the scalp. These here expanded. And then underneath, we have our freestanding two strand twists. Now, if I were finishing her with that KHO spray or keratin healing oil. Today, again, we're using that neem plant serum. I'll add a little bit more to the palm of my hand, distribute evenly, and then I'll come in and just scrunch. I do this on myself after my hair is completely dry, whether I am diffusing or if I just kind of do a wet set and then air dry to kind of open up my style. And so I'll kind of show you guys over here because this side's looking a little flatter, right? So I'll just come in and scrunch. And as I scrunch, it encourages separation in those coils. But as long as I've got even coating of product on my hands, it's not going to start to frizz it out. So we'll come in here and we'll scrunch in all of the places that I'm looking to soften or to open up the curl or to build volume. All right. Okay, guys.